Red Twilight, A Dawning of Power. Chapter 5, Moses. The car rolls to a stop in front of me. It's a convertible. It looks like a sporty Mustang. Behind the wheel is a short, stocky man with a big grin. Half his teeth are gold. He has a hair-thin mustache. His skin is bronze tan. He is dressed in a relaxed-fitting off-white overcoat with a matching fedora, red stripe, alligator teeth in it. He looks ethnically confused. Amigo, you'll catch your death out there, he says as he waves to me. Come on, I'll drive you some. His accent is awful. Sounds like Spanish Australian, maybe Eastern English. But he has offered me a ride, and a ride I need. Thank you. I can feel something is off. My aura sight has fired up. I look around despairingly. I see myself. I'm glowing light blue with a flare of red, as always. Blue is suggestive of a deep sadness or loneliness. Red adds just a touch of pure rage. The man in the car is yellow, a sign of happiness. This guy has no problems in the world. Something behind us, though. It seems to be sucking our aura towards it. Some black, empty thing. I dread to look, but I bet I already know. Note from Archivist Lincoln Gillard. I have no way of confirming the accuracy of this statement, but it does seem that Blake is aware of how off this sounds, and he, as I, accept this as being part of his hallucinations. It is my feeling that Blake has accurately recorded Moses' dialogue, if not in its full essence. Only the clearly fantastical elements are out of place. As I reach for the car door, the metal crinkles away from me like a soda can in a fire, bending in on itself and turning to ash. I see, in the high polish of the door, the sand behind me pouring into a hole, like into a vortex. This can't be right. I cover my eyes. It's just like before. Something is inside my head, driving me mad, controlling my thoughts. My power of the mind is all that's keeping me sane. Por favor, the man in the car says. Rapido, I need to go. I nod and hop into the car with him. Where to, boss? The Tico, Mexico, Colombia. I love it all. He can't see any of what I'm seeing. I hold my head as I point forward. I can't find anything to say other than merely, go. As we roll down the street, I retake control of my mind, and things become clear. Something is following me. That part is clear. Who, why, I can't tell. It is not really important, I guess. What is, on the other hand, is I get rid of them, one way or another. Comprende inglés? I ask him. See, my English very well, he responds. I could have guessed. I pull out my map and point. Do you know where this is? He nods to me. Yeah, I'm going right by there. Good. Drop me off. I reach for my wallet. He shakes his hand at me as if offended by the notion. Apprehensively, I look in the mirror, watching for God only knows what. My driver looks at my suitcase, then back at me. Guitar? He asked. He's a good man. I'd like to tell him everything. But I don't know anything myself, really. And if I simply open it and let him meet the ladies, likely he would freak out and kick my ass to the street. Well, say nothing, I'll insult him. Say everything, I'll scare him. Maybe I can tell him the truth and he'll laugh at it. No, a shitload of guns. Just as I thought, he laughs. Sons of scorpions? He says, I don't understand, but I can play along. Contract killer. He laughs again, not believing a word of it. I think that's for the better, anyhow. He holds his hand out to me and manages to slip out one word between his high belly laughs. Moses. He tells me his name. I hold my hand out to him. Touching Moses' hand triggers Blake's second sight. Blake learns more about his new friend than he would ever have liked to have. Moses is a kingpin, with a network of people under him from Spain to LA. The trade of women and drugs makes up the bulk of his affairs. Blake's second sight likes surface thoughts more than any. It seems Blake has in some way reminded Moses of his two sons, as that is what he is thinking about, and what Blake gets to see most clearly. A boxing ring, midnight. Moses has gathered his boys and a dozen of his friends. Moses wants Snake and Larry to learn how to box. Moses pushes Snake onto stage first. A heavy man jumps into the ring on the other side. Moses explains to Snake, hit him, don't let him hit you. Snake is a kid, not even 15, but already he has a receding hairline. His eyes are sharp. Snake has lived a life of constant running and hiding. Snake has been a pickpocket for years, and he's learned how to pick locks. Snake is fast and crafty, but now Moses wants him to be smart and frisky. That is why Moses has put him in the ring with Terry. Terry was once a federale. Who better to teach a kid to fight than a police officer? Snake raises his fist, for the first time demonstrating he's willing to play fair. Terry puts a swift end to this. The large Mexican grips one of Snake's wrists and pulls the kid into a back fist. Snake is knocked onto his back. Hasta, hasta, Moses cries out. Snake jumps to his feet. He runs forward and howls. Snake jumps at Terry. Terry sidesteps the charge and pushes Snake into a pole. Snake growls as he regains his footing. Sloppily, Snake throws a cross punch. Terry packs the punch out of the way, then returns with a palm thrust. Terry savagely pushes Snake against the ropes. Terry slaps the boy a dozen times. Snake is dizzy. He doesn't know what to do, so he stands and gets slapped over and over. Larry growls. The long-haired younger brother drops his glasses on the ground and picks up a lamp off the announcer's table. Larry is a wild animal. He barks, he screams, he howls, overtaken by anger. Larry is like something subhuman. Larry hammers Terry on the back to make him kneel. With a furious scream, the 10-year-old plants a foot on the old cop's chest and thrusts the lamp butt into his face. Terry folds his arms in front of his face to protect himself. Moses and 4 other men climb onto stage to grab Larry to protect Terry from the terrifying 10-year-old. Moses looks to Snake. Snake regains his footing. How about archery? Next week, I want to go to the shooting range and practice archery. Moses is not mad at all. He's impressed. Snake and Larry did better than he would have guessed. Not as well as he would have hoped, but better than you would have guessed. My name is Blake. Blake, huh? He squints. How do you do, Mr. Blake? Get out here with no car, no bike, no horses? He laughs. I don't know how far you come, but it no short. I don't really want to explain anymore, so I try to lead him off the idea. I walked. How about you, Moses? What are you doing out this way? He shrugs. I work. I drive like a trucker. I go get something from one man, bring it to another man. A convertible is not an F-350 or an 18-wheel big rig, but I'm not going to protest. After about an hour, I note that Moses is taking the least direct route he could possibly have found. He makes a sharp left, detours to a different town entirely. I seek to inquire. He merely shakes his head and asks me to relax. We stop at what looks like a facade town. I doubt it even appears on any maps. It's 15 buildings long, all one story. I don't see any phone or power lines. This place looks like it belongs in a Jesse James flick. Moses buys an egg salad sandwich from a rest stop and a bottle of brandy. I'm grateful. He gets himself something similar and a corn wrap. I feel at ease. Moses' rambunctious idea of driving has shaken whatever I felt earlier. The man's good karma seems to override my bad. We sit at a dirty gas station, eating our nibbles for half an hour, killing time, talking about the weather, sports, whatever middle-aged men like, before my phone rings. I ask Moses to hold as I take the call. Blake! It's Tail. She sounds frantic. Are you good? Yeah, why? Your signal started moving all funny. I got picked up. Blake, you're way off target, she says, starting to calm down. I think for a moment about our last conversation. Tail, your mother helped produce INT-23 under the auspices of Clocko International. How are Clocko and the Von Richtens related? Blake, they're not related at all. Despite what Miss Von Richten seems to think. I'm not a Yog-Sothoth. I'm not a demon. And neither were any of my parents. I feel the need to interrupt her. Any? Yeah, Blake. I'm a bioorganic computer. S1 Alpha Unit, codename Tail. I'm a strategic system, unit number M-1. To my knowledge, the only operational one not under lock and key in a military compound. One of the Watcher spies must have stolen that vaccine. So why do you look at Yog-Sothoth? I feel inclined to ask. Tail exhales heavily in irritation. Year to year, canines have a faster and longer reproductive life. Short incubation, therefore, are cheaper than humans to harvest and breed. And besides, the Right to Life Act of the 1970s forbade human testing until a product has been tested and found safe on animal subjects. Thank you, Tail. One more thing. Do you feel physically attracted to humans or dogs? God damn it, Blake. Get back to work before you get us killed. She seems upset. Has it been tested to see what you're compatible with? I ask, and that's the final straw. She hangs up on me. She wants me. We jump back into Moses' car and make our way to the Lamia's back. Moses drops me off and explains he's going to be back in 5 hours. I cannot help but wonder why. As Moses drives off, I look around. There are 9 vehicles, some cars, some motorcycles. I decide it would be in my better interest to search them. I pull a Slim Jim from my bag. A tool the cops use to open locked doors when they need something more subtle than a battering ram. First I search the sports car. In the front seat, there's a pair of glasses with broken lenses and a photograph taken at some park. It shows 2 men at night. Jukebox in the background. Man with long hair screaming into a microphone like a rock star. Other man, short hair, firing a pair of prop guns. Lens flare, hard to make out details. Back seat, billfold, money clip. There's an ID inside. Larry Gex, age 25, 5'9", 235 pounds, brown hair, brown eyes. In the trunk is a box filled with gold bars. Another vision begins. Today's a good day, Snake yells back to his younger brother, who is half asleep in the back of the Mustang. Less than 15 hours ago, I broke a man's nose. I threw 13 bars of gold into the back of my new car. He laughs. I was hoping we'd grab 20, but that money wouldn't fit. He yells out, enjoying the sound of his car's hum and the feeling he gets from speeding down the street at 90 miles per hour. Snake is slick, sexy, confident. His only weak spot is his little brother, Larry Gex. Both brothers dress in matching black silk suits with green inner linings and light red accents around the neck and cuffs. Snake has short hair and is thin. He has tattoos in the shape of flames leaping from beneath his collar, running up and kissing the sides of his face. Larry has long hair he keeps tucked into his jacket and wears wide-rimmed glasses. He's of a slightly larger build than his brother. Only the best is good enough for you, Snake thinks aloud. Cars, women, food, nice threads, big houses, drugs, whatever you want. I'll give it to you. Snake turns up the radio to hear Pink Floyd's song Money. He laughs again. Things just don't get better, do they? He howls wildly into the early evening sky. In the past, Snake and Larry have been runners, doing a little more than moving drugs and other undesirables from one side of their hometown to the other. But a year ago, they were promoted to field work, moving ice. It turns out the two of them are pretty good at it. Ruthless, controlling. The Gex brothers are nothing shy of a murderous pair. Perfect for the role. My brother is helpless without me. Larry nonchalantly waves at him as he's fading in and out of sleep. Snake laughs to himself, reaching back and poking at his brother. Nice shot, people. Larry mumbles as he's nodding off. Larry, Snake holds a hand back. Give me your glasses. Larry hands them over. Killing people takes something out of you, doesn't it? Larry nods as he crosses his arms with a snort. You fired every bullet, didn't you? Larry snickers and nods again. 80 miles to the checkpoint. Moses is going to meet us in the morning. Snake stretches his arms behind himself and rubs his brother's head. Larry bats at him like a kitten. We'll be there in less than an hour, which gives us all night to drink beer and get laid. Snake joyfully beats the wheel. He cranks up his tunes and flies down the street. Come one, come all you like. The Lamia's back is open all night for your bordello needs. Here we have it all. Fine wine, hard liquor, and all the sexy bitches you can handle. The man's voice, who is yelling over the loudspeaker as Snake and Larry arrive, is a burly Spaniard with a handlebar mustache and a flannel sweater, heavy hostile biker boots, and hair in a ponytail, despite his widow's peak. What color do you like your pussies today? Red, yellow, tan, even black and white. But tonight only 15% off your third purchase. So, buy all you need, buy in excess. The man gives a hearty laugh as he finishes his pitch. Snake throws his arms in the air as he and Larry step out of the car. He yells in excitement. Sounds like my kind of place. Come on, Larry. Pussy and beer on me. They head across the dusty parking lot, Larry following closely behind his brother. As they approach, the man on the speaker holds out an intercepting hand. Hey, you! Nice suit! Bit too nice, I think. FBI, maybe? Maybe a Jew. Or Jew-fed. Man, Jews and cops. This place isn't for you. Snake looks down at the hand on his chest. Larry, can you believe this guy? Snake furiously grabs the arm of the man and runs his fist into the bouncer's face repeatedly until he falls to his knees. He then shoves the bouncer at the ground. And for your information, I am a Mormon. Larry looks down at the bloodied man and giggles with a hint of insanity. Snake, he doesn't like being touched. He also doesn't like to hear people say no to him either. Larry stands up straight and starts to kick the life out of the bouncer, punctuating his words. And neither do I. The two of them step over the body, slam open the doors, and walk in calmly. Snake and Larry spend almost an hour putting back drinks and laughing hysterically at one another as they talk about the past year and the work that they have done. A hot Egyptian woman takes the stage, and she starts to dance. Snake slaps a pair of 50s on the table. So, bro, wanna play finger cuffs? Larry giggles and nods. Let's get it wet. The woman climbs down off the stage and hisses. They both chuckle. But their moment of fun is interrupted as the bouncer comes back inside, loudly cursing. The man picks up a knife, an equally violent intent, and points at the two brothers who just kicked him to death. Damn English bitch. I'll kill you both for what you did. Kick the goddamn things on my teeth. He flings the knife from hand to hand, demonstrating his competence with a blade. Snake points and shouts, Larry, shut his mouth. Larry nods. Yes, sir. He pulls out his revolver and shoots the man 3 times in the forehead. The two of them laugh as he falls over backwards. A group of bikers off to one side are startled at the commotion, as is an old man next to them, a bald prick at the bar wearing a cotton suit. The bikers start to walk towards the brother. Snake draws a gun, and Larry a second. "Hold it right there," Snake yells. "Sit back down and enjoy your drinks, and no one's gonna get hurt." The man Larry just gunned down stands back up tauntingly. "What the fuck?" Snake whispers. The man smiles at the two thieves as his face melts into a reptilian shape. "Smoke him," Snake cries, enraged. Larry unloads his revolvers, throwing down the first gun as he starts in with the second. Snake fires his weapon as well. The woman standing between the brothers lets out a diabolic hiss and throws Larry on his back. She dry humps him as she sinks a set of viper-like fangs into his shoulder. Snake turns from the mob near the door to see the Egyptian woman has become the same serpentine monster shown on the sign out front. He pumps 5 shots into her back before she drops Larry and looks at him. She hisses again. The floor shakes. Snake looks around and sees the band members have turned into monsters. Snarling wolves. Walking corpses begin to emerge from below. "Larry," Snake calls out, "I need you." There's no answer. The longest night of Snake's life has begun. Next, I search the bikes, and I saw bags of one. There's an insurance card that reads, "Farm State Motorcycle Insurance Registration, Charlie Belmont. Valid June 08. There's also a notebook. Pictures of animal people. People look like animals. Several page-long comic. Woman having sex with a man as he morphs into a wolf. Signed, Lucia Wingate. The notebook triggers another vision, a set of memories, at first scattershot, starting with images of a 14-year-old girl in a fight with an older woman, a fire, the barking of dogs, a wolf pressed nose to nose with Blake for a split second. Its mouth drops open. Finally, things focus in a way that makes it easier to read. Charlie Belmont, also called Pistol, kicks down the stand on his hog, an old-style Davison from the 1930s, fully refurbished to look like it just came off the assembly line, as he pulls into a diner's parking lot. He and all the members of his group, except Trash, are dressed in black leather. Pistol has ratty dark brown-black hair with similar eyes. He wears a whip wrapped around his waist. Old, bronze. The whip is something out of antiquity. It has a name. Soul Eater. Charlie has horrible scars covering his face. Looks like some sort of an animal attack. He still smiles bright as a boy. His girl climbs down off the back of his bike. A 16-year-old redhead who goes by the nickname Trash. Her real name, Lucia Wingate. She is wearing way too much makeup for a young girl. Is dressed in a red tank top and a jean skirt, dyed red also. Fishnet stockings, knee-high boots. Alongside Pistol, on a much more modern Harley bike, is a man so black the leather of his jacket is nearly the same color as his face. As a joke, Charlie calls him Spooky. He and Pistol have been friends for almost 20 years. The two of them work in the same school. Charlie is the director of environmental services. Muhammad Quinn, as a physical fitness instructor, as well as a health and human services advisor. They have rolled from town to town in search of fun and freedom. Trash joining them about a year ago after Pistol shook a rapist off her in a back alley of a movie store. At least, that's the cover story they give. Lucia and Charlie have never talked about what really happened to anyone. Today, the three of them are riding from Bram with 5 buddies they hooked up with at the last rest stop. They walk into the diner, which is about a half-hour's ride from Nauvoo. Pistol himself is feeling fine, but for some of the younger riders, they're not so well set up for a long haul. The hostess greets him with a smile and a routine-sounding, "How are y'all?" followed by a "Welcome back." They all extend half-hearted greetings while looking for a suitable booth to sit down. In nearly no time, a lot of them have finished off almost a full pot of coffee each. Trash has been sweet on Pistol since they met, almost to the point of being sickeningly sweet. He looks after her much like a father, but he is just as allured by a pretty face as any man would be. Yet he has to remain true to his keen sense of responsibility, lest he should act like an animal. Partway through everyone's 3rd or 4th cups, Spooky lights a blunt and starts passing it between his friends. Pistol shakes his head and passes on it, knowing that it's challenging to ride half-deaf. He doesn't need to be half-baked, too. Having a light frame and little tolerance for drugs, Trash finds herself becoming high in no time. She swings a leg around Pistol and sets her head gently to his shoulder, seductively whispering with him, "You want to mess around?" Pistol smiles, answering, "Yes." "No!" He quickly regains his bearings and pushes her back into her seat. "Christ, Trash," he says angrily. "I'm older than your father." "So what?" she protests in an upset tone. "My father is 15 years older than my mother." Spooky takes off his leather coat, revealing his massive broad shoulders. He laughs through his teeth as he speaks. "Do you know who you remind me of? Steve Buscemi." With a cross look of disgust and disappointment, Pistol shakes his head. "First off, I have no idea where you would have met the comedian Steve Buscemi. Second, I'm nothing like him, for 3 reasons. 1, this is my real hair. 2, Steve is not deaf. And he has never had to have reconstructive surgery after having ripped his own face off. How did you come to this conclusion anyway?" Spooky laughs. "You like cartoons, you like rockabilly music, and clearly you're into dudes." "I'm not gay," Pistol protests. "Trash gave me head last week." It's a lie. Everyone at the table knows it. But no harm in playing along. "Guys can give head," Spooky states firmly. "I don't get it anyway. Why do girls want you? Look at yourself. You're the most hideous chud in the world." As the group is chatting, Lucia gets up from her chair. "I'm going to the bathroom." She departs hastily. She shouts to Charlie, "Come on." Spooky chuckles. Charlie does as he's asked. Lucia steps into the girls' room. She pulls Charlie in with her. She is shaking. "Charlie, it's been almost a year now, but I have to know. That thing at the movie theater, was it real?" Charlie nods. "Yeah." "It acted like it knew you," Lucia expresses. "What was it?" Why did it attack me? Charlie chuckles slightly. He doesn't want to say what he knows. But he doesn't want to lie to Lucia. It's called a jack-o'-ware. It was breeding season, and you're of prime age to be taken as a mate. Lucia stands and stares for a moment. I am too high to talk about this right now. She walks back onto the main area and retakes her seat. Charlie a few steps behind. As they continue speaking to one another, a pair of men walk into the restaurant. One is a tall, powerful-looking bald man in a gray suit. His partner is built for all the world like a modern-day Viking. Broad chest, powerful arms, taller than most. He seems 10 feet tall, from Trash, Spooky, and Pistol's point of view, and possessing hair of a deep crimson. Pistol overhears the bald one, with a stone face as he's talking to the hostess. 10 miles. Back up the road. There's supposed to be a bridge that leads into the town on the other side of the mountains. Pistol kicks his feet up on the table as he thinks about what he just said. He then responds to the stoic man's inquiry as his mind pulls up the information he was trying to remember. Old Nauvoo. The bridge has been gone for some time, but there is a road that goes through. What happened there? Inquires the stone-faced man with the well-pressed suit. Acid or radiation or something spilled all over the place. Cops closed the bridge, barred the road. They said it's unlivable. Still some folks around there, though. Can you tell me how to get there? The icy stranger asks. No, but I can show you the way. 8 of us are heading that way pretty soon. Take a load off, have a beer. We'll be leaving shortly. We don't drink. Thank you. But we will sit. What's your name? Pistol asks out of courtesy. L. The calm man states plaintively. L? Pistol chuckles upon hearing the stranger's name. Your name is The. What's his name? His? Pistol sarcastically speaks, snickering, almost disbelievingly of the answer. The man that looks like an ox steps forward with an angered look, moving in with apparent interest of rearranging Pistol's anatomy. L calmly holds out a hand to stop the giant. He's my shotgun. I call him Lacerty. Muscles, Pistol responds. Something like that. L answers, suppressing a small amount of shock at the apparent biker gang's leader knowing Latin. Lacerty means strength of body. The early evening hours proceed much like that. The group of them discussing most everything from music to actors to Madonna to big dicks, to manly men to feminine women, and things that make them better. Hairy chest, wax asses, rhinoplasty. After several more cups of coffee and half a pack of cigarettes on Spooky's behalf, everyone's ready to set back out on the road. Throughout the conversation, Al and his big buddy Lacerty sat quietly, saying neither a word to the bikers nor each other. They were seemingly happy listening in, not needing to talk to understand, like a pair of owls. After a short ride, the bikers arrive at the hangout, as they commonly do on their weekends, and the heavy drinking begins. Elle goes to sit by the bar, Lashley heads off elsewhere. The music is right. The beer isn't bad either. Live mariachi band plays. The type you might see in Mexico or the Deep West. Taking a good look, Pistol notes that the women aren't looking too bad either. Partway through the song Johnny Be Good, Pistol announces, "It's time to take a piss break." The bathrooms here at the Lamia's back are divided from the stage by an iron gate and a narrow hallway. The bathroom is amongst the cleanest Pistol's ever seen. Flawlessly beautiful. Aside from the broken mirror over the sink nearest the door. Pistol sees Lashley is there also. Pistol tries to make small talk, but Lashley never says a word, merely shrugging or grunting in response to any statement. The next song starts. The melody is familiar. It's a country song called Misunderstood. As he reminisces, the sounds of gunfire ring in the club. Pistol laughs uncomfortably. I guess that this isn't just my favorite song after all. A child screams, and at that Pistol quickly rezips his pants, and the two men run out to see what's the matter. Lashley throws open the door. 4 zombies lunge in at him. Lashley throws his fist, and they tumble back through the door as quickly as they came. Pistol reaches around his waist and pulls out his whip. The two of them push their way out of the bathroom and back into the hall. The scene looks bad. Trash and Spooky are wrestling with the undead. The bartender has turned into a twin-headed demon that is getting knocked around by Elle wielding a fire extinguisher. A man in a silk suit has gunned down a dancer. An old man has picked up a chair and is swinging it at the monsters. His 2 kids being pulled off in another direction. One towards the main door, the other towards the back room. The music stops. The sprinklers come on. Blood seems to spray from the ceiling. Pistol points to one of the girls. "Big stuff." Lashley nods and charges through the gates towards the beast making its way out the door. Pistol pulls his whip back as the other girl is carried into range. He lashes at just the right moment, wrapping his whip around a zombie's waist. Pistol smiles as he tugs in the monster. "I don't know if that's kosher. Someone like you picking up someone like her." He waves a mocking finger. The monster drops the girl and runs at Pistol, its mouth draped open hungrily. It pushes the man back to the gate, slamming it shut. Other undead hands reach through and tug at Pistol. "Bad touch, bad touch," Pistol calls as he elbows the gate to shove the zombies away from him, then pushes the one holding him. Pistol swings his whip, wrapping it around the zombie's head this time. As he pivots in towards it, he sidekicks. The force rips the monster's head clean off. The gate shakes as the other zombies start to try to get in. Pistol strikes a ready stance. He calls out, "Out the back, sweetheart." Pistol smiles again, using his best kitty voice. "I'll follow you in just a second." Pistol pulls a pair of handcuffs out of his jacket and uses them to chain shut the gate. For the first time, he notices a swirling mist on the ground, which now starts to form into a humanoid shape. A hand flies out at him and wraps around his chest as a wolf-like monster with bat wings on its back materializes. It lifts Pistol into the air and begins to choke him. "Belmont," it growls. Pistol looks up and down. Hanging from his body are the tattered remnants are the bright clothes that the band members had on. He's a guitar player, he thinks. The monstrous wolf beast looks at the whip. Son of Belmont. How many of my brother's souls have that cursed instrument of yours swallowed? Do you even know? The monster whips Pistol at the ground, making a horrible cracking sound. Pistol can't tell whether it was his arm or the cement cracking under feet. He groans in pain. That really sucked. He mutters as he rolls onto his stomach and stands back up. Crushing your pathetic body will bring great honor to the Ducoul. The monster shouts, kicking him back onto his back. Pistol half laughs and half cries as he tries to stand. Isn't 1600 years a long time to hold a grudge? He backs up against the wall. Son of Belmont, you and all your ancestors will spend eternity with us. The wolf beast bellows. It gets onto all fours. Pistol sidesteps. The monster pounces. Pistol brings up an arm to block it. It strikes its jaws into Belmont's forearm. They fall into the gate, toppling it with their combined weight. Zombies pour into the hall as Pistol and the wolf men growl at one another. Pistol desperately backhands the beast. The beast topples back in surprise. Pistol takes the opportunity to put a foot on the monster's gut and judo throw it. The man leaps to his feet as he grabs his whip from the ground and recoils it. He takes one last look back at the monster with a boyish salute. We will have to finish this another time. He jests. Pistol runs away, giving chase to the girl. Finally, to the big rig. The thing smells like lemons. The dashboard is oiled. And the brake pedal has recently been replaced. The driver must be the cleanest trucker in the world. Clipped to the visor on the passenger side is a picture. It is of 18 soldiers outside a base. 16 of them posing for the camera, grinning. 2 of them at attention. The 16 posing all have X's over their hearts. Only the lieutenants, standing at attention, remain unmarked. The first unmarked man is a large man, standing in the back. He is mildly out of focus, making it difficult to judge his stature. Even so, he stands as wide as 2.5 men. He's massive. The second stands alongside his men, his hands folded before him, completely ordinary. The only identifying mark on him are his insignias. Flipping over the picture, the notation on the back reads, December 14th, 1968, Vietnam. Vision clear and crisp. The person he is reading is disciplined of mind and body. It is a night like most every other. L. Driver, a name he has given himself, has company at his favorite bar, the unfriendly kind of company. He's with 2 men, a Cuban, his hair in cornrows, and a Negro, as bald as L himself. The Cuban has drawn a gun. 13mm Jackal, limited edition. It's a good gun. Too much gun for most to handle. L thinks to himself while examining the firearm. He is entirely without fear, as he stares down the muzzle, head held high. He adjusts the collar of his economy class suit with his matching tie, then crosses his arms atop the table. His eyes are a deep brown and seem to hold back a fiery evil. He's an imposing presence. Even seated, it is clear that he is over 6 feet tall. "Mr. L, your prices. It's too much," the Cuban man yells. $7,000. For one truck? Plus $7,000 more on delivery. Plus expenses. L's face is stone cold. "What do I pay for?" the Cuban asks. "Insurance," L replies, his voice calm and piercing. "No questions. Guaranteed. I provide the tools and the training. If I fail, my replacement picks up where I left off." L continues in his soft but demanding voice. "Before you think any more about shooting anyone, are you any good with numbers?" "No. Why?" the Cuban questions. "It just so happens that I am exceptional. Let's play a game. Count with me. If you look right now, you will see 27 men are looking at you in addition to myself. 25 of them are carrying guns, 24 of which are pointed at you. Half of those guns are 9mm Berettas, the favorite gun of the CIA. 1/3 are .45 Dostoevs, a Russian hand cannon. The rest are United States .50 caliber Desert Eagles. And there's one man outside with an M18 assault rifle, which the Army had just put into production in 2008. So, tell me, how many rounds are there between them?" The Cuban man tries to count on his fingers as L continues. 388, not counting your jackal. You fire, you're not getting out alive." "I see your point, Mr. L." The Cuban puts the gun down on the table. L takes it. "I trust the packages are outside." "Like in the deal?" "Yes," the Cuban responds. "Let's go take a look." It's the hot dog taco truck. The now nervous Cuban nods to one side as he sweats. "Is it true what they say about you?" he questions tensely. "And what is that?" "Do you kill people who refuse to pay you?" "What do you think?" L questions calmly and coldly as he stands, taking the jackal and putting it into his pants pocket. He leads the Cuban and the Negro to the front of the bar and outside. "You never look in the packages, I'm told," the Negro says as L opens the truck. "I never look in the packages," L confirms as he begins to move boxes around. "Then what are you doing?" the Cuban questions. "Making sure that what's here is what's supposed to be here." He counts the boxes. 101 boxes, weighing between 20 and 45 pounds each. He finishes his count. "There are 104 boxes here. 3 of them have to go. That's the deal," L coldly expresses. The scared men nod, knowing the gig is up. "I'll be back in 45 minutes. Clean this mistake up, and I'll give you the flight plan," L orders. An hour later, L leads them back inside the bar after recounting the truck. He gives them the recap. "Here's the plan. I drive only by daylight and within the speed limit. I began at 8:35 a.m., stopping at 12:35 and 5:35 for food and drinks. No more than 3 stops per gas for day. At 7:45 p.m., I make my way to the nearest hotel, motel, or rest station, or legal park and go to sleep. You reimburse me for whichever when I drop the assets off at your P.O. box. The map shows my intended path. If this is not acceptable, you may set a new one. I'll arrive at the rendezvous in 7 to 14 days. Once there, I'll make 2 attempts to deliver the package, 13 hours apart. If there is any sign of danger, I'll leave and come back in 1 hour. If there's no one to meet me, I will take the contents and sell it myself. If I get there and there is no money, or it's not the right amount, I kill the messenger. Call my assistants. They find and kill you. Find your address book and take the remaining money from your accounts. Don't make any more mistakes. Everyone agrees. Elle sets off. Everything according to plan. Less than a block away, Elle picks up his partner Lacerty, a giant of a man with dark red hair and a matching beard. Lacerty is reminiscent of the Vikings. He stands over 8 feet tall and is highly trimmed, muscular. Elle drives from Florida to Mexico. It's long and unfriendly, but one Elle and his partner have made dozens of times, just like their father had, and their sons will make after them. Elle's family have been in the same career for generations, moving and transporting anything and everything, always with the same set of rules. 4th day of the trip, they hit a snag. A road that's on Elle's map isn't actually there. Elle turns the truck around, and they return to the last town for gas and directions. They stop at a diner, where there seems to be a biker gang dining as well. Inside, Elle approaches a waitress and calmly asks, "Miss, can you help me?" She's chewing gum. It smells heavily of watermelon-scented perfume. "What's up, stranger?" 10 miles up the road, there's supposed to be a bridge that leads into the town on the other side of the mountains. One of the bikers pipes in. He is a man with black hair. He has a face torn out from years of drug use. It's old Nauvoo, isn't it? Bridge is gone, but there's still a road that goes through. What happened there? Elle inquires. Some acid or radiation or something spilled all over the place. Cops closed the bridge, barred the road. They say it's unlivable now. Still, some folks live around there. Can you tell me how to get there? Elle asks, in his always calm tone. No, but I can show you. The 8 of us are heading that way, the man answers. Take a load off, have a beer. We'll be leaving soon. Elle cracks a smile. We don't drink, thank you, but we will sit. As Elle and Lacerty wait around with the bikers, they learn that the one that spoke with them is named Pistol. The rest of them talk through almost incoherent blabber. After a time they leave. Elle and Lacerty following the bikers around the mountains to the hangout, as they called it. A sleazy whorehouse called the Lamia's back. The place is not entirely Elle's style, but it's the only stop along the way if they want to stay punctual. He goes to the front of the bar to sit by himself while Lacerty makes his way to the restrooms. The rest of the group find tables together and continue their heavy drinking. Some commotion begins. Elle pays no heed until the bartender takes his cup and growls. Time to pay the tab. Elle looks up and quickly notices something is not right. Blood begins to rain from above, projected from the sprinklers. The bartender has grown a second head, neither head resembling anything even remotely human. He leans over to grab Elle, but Elle kicks his chair back and out of reach as he leaps to his feet. The bartender jumps onto the counter and crouches like some sort of a wild animal. L round kicks him to the side. Then Axe kicks him to the ground. The mutated bartender grabs at L as he gets back up and throws him over the bar. Bleed for me, the monster bartender orders. L stands and cracks his neck in defiance. The tender stretches his rubbery neck to snap at the man. L grabs a nearby fire extinguisher. It gets caught in the monster's mouth. L raises his new gun to blast the mutant's second head to pieces. The room is crowded with dozens of beasts of all shapes and sizes. It looks like the male's gonna be late. L mutters as he faces a bar full of hell's minions. I approach the door to the joint. It's locked with an eye bar. I'm not strong enough to lift it. It's several hundred pounds. So I lift my phone instead. It's time to make a call. Tail answers. Operator. Tail. Yes. I need help. You're a monster hunter, not me, Tail reminds me. I have a list of names and pictures. I need to know who they are. Why? They're inside and I can't get in. Shoot the door down, she commands. I shake the door. It doesn't budge. No good. Door is thicker than the lock by at least 2 inches. Don't suppose you slipped me any C4 or an RPG. What's an RPG? Tail asks. Rocket-propelled grenade. No, Blake. The Watchers don't issue military-brand arsenal. I guess I'll just have to find another way in. I walk around the structure, only to find, as I reach the back side, that there is an impossible fissure. A mile long, maybe 1,000 feet deep. A graveyard of bikes and trucks wait at the bottom of the pit. Hundreds or more of wrecked cars sit in the rust. I feel something is sleeping in the hole. Something old and evil. I feel something is pulling at my mind. Glowing velvet eyes burrow into my heart. The monster that cooked Chris and Cherry is close by. I feel a flash of light. I hear a whale song singing, resonating from the underground. A hot wind howls, blowing my coat upwards. Something just outside of our reality is within arm's reach. Teeth pierce the ground in my second sight. The thing under the ground is an eldritch abomination. This thing, it has been standing in my shadow for days, leading me. An intangible hand rests on my back. The mysterious thing whispers in my ear. It tells me to take one more step, to fall from this world into theirs. I call on my psychic powers to push me back, away. I step from the pit. I run back to the front of the bar. The godless thing waits for me. The bridge between life and death is so close, I can almost see past the veil of reality. The Reaper awaits.